What's up, guys? Welcome back to Maestro Vapes. Today it is my pleasure to show you this guy. This is the 26650 Ember mod. It's made by Golden Armour Mods, okay? The original Ember, it was 18650. They had 18350, 18500 tubes. Came out like a year ago, okay? And it was a really popular copper and brass kind of mixed metal mod, and people dug it. They did have some problems with the locking ring on it. This one does not have a locking ring. It's got a recess button, so they switched it up a little bit for the 26650 model, all right? Let me have a sip of coffee here, and we'll get a little bit more into it. Now, Golden Armour Mods from the Philippines, so it's Pinoy-made goodness at its finest. This thing has 92% pure silver contacts in it and a silver spring in it as well. So you're going to get all that conductivity that you need. I've had this thing for going on about 3 months. I had some problems with it. I had a wormhole in my positive pin that was giving me brutal hot button. So I had to send it back, send the pin back to get a replacement. Took about a month for me to get it, but I did get it back, and now it's hitting super well. Let me have a hit here. Yeah, you could fog up a room pretty good with this guy. But remember, you know, you're only as good as the batteries that you're using. I'm using the Vape Power batteries in this, the green Vape Powers, and they seem to be working pretty well for me, okay? Let's take it in, have a look at it. Comes with a brass tube as well, so it's got alpha and omega. Let's go in, check it out. You can see all the goodness as well. We'll compare the tubes. Let's compare the brass tube to the copper tube and see if there's any difference in voltage drop, you know? We'll try that out as well, all right? Let's go in, check it out. All right, so here it is up close. This is the Golden Armour Ember 26650 with the Omega and the Alpha tubes, okay? Comes in this box. It says, you know, Alpha. It says Omega on it. You open it up, it's got some bubble wrap in it, okay? That's what it comes in, Golden Armour Mods, all right? Move that out of the way. So when you get this guy, it comes with these two really nice tubes, one in copper and one in naval brass, and the engraving in these things is just fantastic, super nice and deep. And kind of what I've been digging is it gets this kind of patina within that engraving because it's kind of like dotty kind of, you know, it's just kind of not perfectly smooth in there. And it just gets that little bit of patina in there, so when you polish it, it kind of stays a little darker. You know, it's really nice. This one I really polished the crap out of, so it's not looking as patinaed in that logo. But these logos are really nice on this guy, okay? Also comes with this tube. Now this tube is made to outfit an 18650 battery in it, okay? So if you want to use 18650 batteries with this guy, you just insert that guy into the tube and it snugs it up for 18650s, okay? It's a little bit shorter though. What I found with a lot of my 18650 batteries, they're a lot shorter, so I have to kind of tune out my positive pin a lot to make contact, like almost popping right out, okay? But let's get into it. Tube, the brass tube, the alpha tube, really nice and clean. The threading in it is decent, you know? It's a Filipino-made mod. And what I've found in the past is Filipino-made mods sometimes don't have the most perfect threading. You know, they end up having burrs and stuff like that, and this is no exception. You know, this one wasn't too bad. The brass tube actually wasn't too bad when I got it. It had a few little rough spots that I was able to kind of SOS pad out of there. Not too bad, but the copper tube was a little bit more of a pain in the ass. But yeah, no big deal, right? You got to clean them up. Top of this thing, the laser engraving on this, the etching on top of this looks awesome. Like, it looks so cool. I really dig this a lot, you know, really cool. Bottom button on this thing says Ember on it, Golden Armour Mods. This one is serial number 229, all right? Open it up, Opening it up, it's got a brass top cap and bottom, copper button, copper tube on there right now, just so it goes, you know, brass to copper to brass to copper. I just dig this look, you know, but it does look pretty styling with this brass tube on here as well. Really, really classy. Let's take this thing apart. Threading's not bad, you know, like it's okay. The tolerances are all right, you know, there's a little bit of wobble to it. Not too bad though. But I feel like it should be a little bit better. The threading should be a little bit better on this thing. One thing that makes this, you know, really exciting for me to get was the pure silver contacts, okay? Pure silver contacts, I read online that they were 92% pure silver. So the conductivity in this thing should be fantastic, right? And it's pretty friggin' good. It's pretty friggin' good, all right? There's the top pin, pure silver or 92% pure. Backs out, battery rattle right there. Put that guy back in. And it's pretty simple, like it's a mech mod, right? 510 threading was nice. I'm going to put this together on that brass one. Like, how clean is that? How clean does that look, eh? Here's that copper tube. And it's got little chunkies in it, you know? It does. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. I've tried to clean it up a bit, but it's not perfect. The quality of the copper is decent. Right there, there's a big chunk in there that I tried to bite out of there. Might be able to see that on the bottom of the threading there. Pretty rough. Pretty rough there, man. Pretty rough. I was kind of bummed out about that, actually. Throw on the switch, though, is fantastic. Nice soft press. Not too soft, not too stiff. Just nice, soft push recess button. You can sit it down. Some people get freaked out by recess buttons. You know, unless you're putting it in your pocket with your keys or something that could just start auto-firing it, then it's not going to be a problem. You know, it's not going to be a problem. But I don't mind, you know. Let's take this thing apart. Another pure silver contact in here. Delrin on the outside of both of these. Nice big pieces of Delrin. Just drop that there for now. Not too much threading on there. Not too much at all. Really short throw in this button. That's your bottom. This is actually really nicely machined. Really nicely machined on this guy. And there's no burr on these threads at all. Just on the tubes I found. Now this spring is supposed to be a pure silver spring as well. I don't know, I can't test it, but I'm assuming it is a silver spring. And it works good, nice soft throw. I haven't had hot switch on this with that spring. And there's that firing button. Simple, pretty easy. The threading inside of this is nice and clean too. Very nice and clean. Putting it together. Actually, I'm going to put it wide side down. Build that up. Try and line that up there without crushing that spring. There we go. Now the silver contacts are kind of a pain because whether it's silver coated, silver plated, or just pure silver like this one, they end up getting like little black marred spots. I polished this thing up really nice for you guys, but you could still see it's got that little marred spot on there, and that's just silver, you know. I set it up till it's almost flush, little bit under flush, and then that contact just sticks out. Sticks out just a little bit. Bam. What are we going to do? I want to do something different with this guy. I'm going to put a fresh battery in this. These are the Vape Power batteries. I dig these ones a lot. And I'm going to need an addy, and we're going to do a voltage drop test between the copper tube and the brass tube. I don't think there's going to be a difference, but I want to see for myself. Cheapo inline voltmeter, but it's going to do the trick for us. 415, 416, 417 maybe. I'm going to put this 0.76 ohm load. I think that's what it is. Give it a fire. .385. 384-ish. That's not too hot, man. Like, if you remember that copper Nemi video, that thing hit at 388. Do you guys remember that? Pretty solid. Alright, do a quick swap out here. See if this copper tube works any better. Okay. Throw that battery in there. There we go, rocking and rolling. Do I need to test the battery again? You guys saw me swap it out, right? Nope. This tube seems to be just a little bit shorter than the brass one. There we go. 416. Wow, that's a big difference, man. 398. 398. Almost 4 volts. This thing is a beast. I gotta try that again. Let me try that other tube. 398. That hits like a beast, man. Beastly. Nope. That contact likes to fall out. It's not threaded in there. It's just kind of friction fit. Alright. Brass tube. 396. 398. 398. So no difference. Really no difference. Like, not noticeable. Maybe a bit. 395. So a couple of points difference maybe on the brass tube, but barely even noticeable on voltage drop. Okay, if you're to vape it, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Okay, so there it is, the Golden Armour Ember 26650. Let's take it out and have a vape off of it. All right. Ta-da! Wow. So that voltage drop, man, like, that kind of freaked me out a little bit. I didn't think there was going to be really any difference at all between brass and copper. I didn't think there was going to be a ton of difference. I know that copper does conduct better than brass, but with the silver pins and, you know, the button being copper and everything, I didn't think it was going to be that much of a difference, you know. I could have seen if it was, you know, brass to stainless or copper to stainless, that there would be a bit of a difference, but really between the two, it wasn't that much anyway. Like, we're talking hundredths, you know. I think it was like, you know, 300ths or 500ths or something like that. That's what that difference was. So it's not really a big difference, and you're not going to notice it in the hit off of it, you know, unless you're super sensitive to that stuff. When I started vaping this guy, I used this brass tube all the time. Like, all the time. It just looked really clean, but then the button was copper. So it was like, it was super brass, super cool, and then when I'd like pick it up, it had the copper button, and it just seemed kind of weird to me. So that's why I'm using it with the copper tube, and then it's kind of like, the top is brass, then it's copper, then it's brass, then it's copper. you know, but I'm weird like that, I guess, you know. That tube for the 18650 batteries, I've tried to use the 18650 batteries like the Sonys or the Samsungs in it, and they're a little bit shorter than 26650 batteries. Really, they shouldn't be. They should, you know, be like 65 millimeters. That's what it should be, but the 18650s are slightly shorter, so you do have to dial the battery rattle adjuster like pretty much all the way out. So it's not the best possible thing to use 18650 batteries in, but you can. Like, you can do it. And the 18650s, they do hit just a little bit better. They honestly do. These vape power batteries are working really well for me. I've got AWT batteries that are okay as well. They're not as good as the vape powers, but they're pretty damn good, okay? I've heard good things about the Ember batteries. I know Trevor Jones digs those batteries a lot. I know Sony has some 26650 batteries as well. And Sony, they're badass, you know? So I'm sure that they are decent batteries as well. If you're going to get 26650 batteries, I would stay away from the higher mAh. Like, if you're looking at batteries and there's a difference, you could get a 4200 or a 5200. I'd probably stick to the 4200s. I just feel like they hit just a little bit more punchy, you know, whereas those 5200s would be, you know, for longevity. There's that. For longevity, though, I gotta say, 26650 mods, it's awesome. You know, like, where normally in an 18650 tube mod, I would use like 4 to 6 batteries in a day doing low resistance builds. On this guy, I'm good with about 2 batteries, you know, maybe 3 tops, you know, and that third one's just at home at the end of the night, you know. So yeah, 2 batteries a day, give or take, you know. So it's awesome. It's awesome. Less to carry around, although they are heavier. So I don't know. Maybe I should have, you know, measured the weight between 2, you know, 26650s and 4 18650s and see if it was, you know, better. But that's up to you, right? You know. Cool mod, man. Cool mod. I did have problems with that top pin, you know, and it was kind of a bummer because I sent it back and it took me like 3 weeks to get it back. So I was out of commish for a long time, just sitting on my table, not able to use it, you know. So out of the, you know, 2.5 months that I've had it, I've probably used it for about 1.5 months, you know. That's how long I've used it for. And I gotta say, now with the, you know, the pin being replaced, it's hitting phenomenal. Like, those silver contacts do help a little bit, you know. Do I think that they're, you know, 1,000,000 times better or even 10 times better than, you know, silver plated copper or just a straight copper contact? Probably not, you know. It's a little bit better, you know, a little bit, but not really noticeable. It's kind of like the tubes, right? The tube difference, there wasn't much. And the difference between, you know, a silver plated copper contact and a pure silver contact, I didn't notice it to be that huge of a difference personally, okay? But it's peace of mind, right? The peace of mind is there. The silver is kind of hard to take care of. You know, it does kind of get those little black spots and stuff. So you have to be pretty meticulous to clean it with a soft cloth. But as long as you keep on top of it, they should be okay. Like, looking at mine, I've been using it for, you know, 1.5 months, and they didn't look that bad, right? Take care of it. It'll take care of you. It's a Mac mod. Keep that button cleaned up, and you're going to be good. You're going to be hitting well for a long time, my friends. That's all I really got. I got this guy from Kick-Ass Vapes. They're located in Niagara Falls. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check them out. Thanks for hanging out with me, man. Definitely, if you're into it, Alpha Omega tubes, it's pretty badass. It's pretty beast. And I dig the way it looks, dig the way it works. Contact fell out because it is the floating pin. Got to be careful with that, okay? I'll dial that back a bit so I can have a hit off this, take it out. Thanks for chilling out with me, guys. You know, it's always cool to have you Thanks to all the new subscribers. Thanks to all the old subscribers. I think I'm going to be doing a giveaway coming up on my next vlog video. I think. I'm not going to announce it. It's not going to be in the header or anything like that. But it's, you know, for the subscribers and stuff. I want to thank you guys. So I'm going to do a little something in there somewhere. Okay? Maybe this vlog. Maybe the next one. Stay tuned, my friends. Either way, all right? All I want to say now is butt out, vape up, and breathe easy. Know your limits and vape within it. Know your limits and vape within it. All right? And you, my friend, are going to have a stellar day. All right? Catch you on the next one. Maestro out, my friends.